Okay, let me ask you a question. Have either of you been on the financial side of a funeral before?
Um, no, we haven't really been.
Okay, well, do you have any idea how much a traditional funeral costs nowadays?
I just know it's very, very costly. I don't know the exact amount, but I
Right.
know it's really expensive.
Yeah, so it's about 14,000 right now.
Oh my god.
Exactly. And so, what most families don't realize is that life insurance companies aren't handling funerals the way that they used to. You used to be able to take your policy, take it to the funeral home, and it would serve as collateral until you got your check in the mail to pay for it. It doesn't work that way anymore. So, what happens now is life insurance companies used to have to pay out within 24 days. They now have up to 60 days to pay it out. So there is a lot of out of pocket upfront cost for families.
Right.
Do you have any idea why they do that? Why there's such a delay?
No, no idea.
It's actually because of interest. It's
Oh,
the millions and millions of dollars that the life insurance companies get off the interest check.
that makes sense.
And another thing that's happening is there are also two groups. There's a group out of Canada called the Otterwood Group, and there's also a group out of Texas. And what these groups are doing is they're going around the United States and Canada and buying every funeral home and cemetery.
Wow.
They want to be like the Walmart of the funeral industry.
Okay.
And the reason that I bring this up is they actually require at least 50% of the cost up front. And so I don't know your financial situation, but most families I sit down with don't have $7,000, $10,000 laying around in order to pay for a funeral that's going to be this next weekend.
Yeah, no way.
Right. So what we've come up with is called the Freedom of Choice Funeral Certificate. And the way that this works is it's basically like a blank check.
Okay.
This is accepted in any funeral home in the United States. Um, and funeral homes actually love it because it's backed by powerful unions like yours.
Okay.
So they know that they're going to get paid.
Right.
So how this works is, say your funeral was going to be $15,000. You would flip it over, you'd fill out the amount here, fill out the arrangements, and sign as the beneficiary, and then hand this to the funeral director, and there would be no out-of-pocket costs.
Oh.
As long as you kept it under your approved amount. And so what happens after that is the funeral director is going to call this number here. They're going to ask us two questions. Are you enrolled in the program? And after today, you will be.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're also going to ask you how much money you have to work with. And so if I were to tell them you had $30,000, what do you think that the price of the funeral would magically be?
30,000.
Right. They want to get every penny of it.
Right.
And so it doesn't work that way with us. We don't allow it to because it shouldn't work that way. So what you would do is you'd fill out the $15,000, fill out the arrangements. They would get this. We'd cut the check for $15 and send it to the funeral home. And the other $15,000 would be cut and sent to your family to take care of other out-of-pocket costs that will inevitably come after the funeral.
Right.
So we don't reveal the number of your policy, and we ask that you don't either. That just is the cleanest, easiest, most compassionate way to do this. It's almost like a prearranged funeral. Do you know what a prearranged funeral is?
Yes, I've heard of them.
Okay, so it's basically you decide everything up front and you start making payments on it
Right.
to a specific funeral home. And usually those payments are about, $100, and then when you die, you have up to that much amount of money to work
Right.
with for your funeral. This is a blank check for $30,000 for each of you to work up to that. So it's also permanent and portable. It can be used at any funeral home in the United States, like I said. So if you were to retire and move south and didn't want to have your body transported back up here, it would also work for funeral homes down there.
Oh, awesome.
So do you see how important this is?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, perfect.